guys,
Oh, okay.
morning.
What's going on? Morning.
Morning.
It's afternoon for us.
Good
It's
morning.
nighttime for us.
Well into the evening. Good evening, good evening.
Morning. Welcome back to the Decod3rs channel. I'm your host for today, Vpiphany. Joining us today is the Skribr crew, some of my favorite people in the space. As some of you may know, I am a Skribr content creator, and we have some of our wonderful guys with us today. We have Denomics, welcome.
What's going on?
M's or GNs, right? Because you guys are in Australia. And Leeway, good morning, good evening, good night.
Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, good night. Whatever works for you. Always a pleasure, V.
Fantastic. And of course, my beautiful co-host, the lovely Fiddler.
That's right. Hi.
Your hearing's a little low. You might want to rally up your crowd.
Better?
Yeah, a little bit better
Okay.
there.
Nice.
A little bit better. Still a little low, but whatever floats your boat. All right, we're gonna get straight into it. For anybody who's been living under a rock, Denomics and Leeway, I would like you to tell us what Skribr is and what you guys are up to right now.
All right. Sorry, I'm quickly trying to do something stuffed up in the Discord. But yeah, Skribr. We started a few years ago now, just as a little bit of a side project. What do you call it? Like a little bit of a hobby, I guess. Passion project. We're sort of a group or a collective of analysts, traders, researchers, creative writers, just a group of people who have been involved in the crypto space for a long time. Quite enthusiastic about it. And we all sort of jumped into the DeFi space a couple of years ago and sort of noticed some problems, which was a lack of solid information in the space. So we started to work on something ourselves, which was sort of curating the right type of content that we would like and started to put it out there, and people liked it. So we thought, let's build this into something a little bit bigger. So we started working on Skribr about 12 months ago as a company. And it has sort of evolved into a few different things since then. We launched a proof of concept website about 7 or 8 months ago, which went down really well. We got really good feedback, and that enabled us to run a seed round. We raised enough money to build out our mobile phone app, which is about a month off delivery. We're just about ready to launch that, which we're really excited about. And we've got some really cool stuff on there. That's going to be growing and innovating a lot as well. And we have a lineup of 3 sort of flagship products that we'll be building over the next sort of 2 to 3 years. And we've just secured funding as well for phase 2. So we're just starting the design and development of what phase 2 is going to look like. Still very early stages. That's probably another 6 months away. But we're really excited for that as well. So that's about it for what Skribr is and what we've been up to.
Hey. Okay, yeah, no, an exciting time's coming ahead from what I know in early alpha, guys. So if you're not in the Skribr Discord, it's time to get in there. And if you're not following Skribr, the Skribr Twitter is in the chat, so please do that. Get into it. And remember to follow everybody individually. We'll put that in the chat shortly as well. So the next thing I wanted to talk about is something that you're passionate about and you wanted to talk about first and foremost, which is the Solana Scribes project that's going on right now.
Yeah, it was pretty ironic that I think it was Mert who posted it, who's obviously a big sort of Solana advocate. He posted recently that the Solana Foundation has offered this new sort of initiative program called the Solana Scribes, which sort of piqued our interest because it's right up our alley. It sounds like our name. So we started to look into it. And what it is I don't know if the Solana Foundation is the one who is sort of running it, but somebody in that sort of area has put together this initiative program to encourage people in the industry or in the Web3 space to write creative articles and things like that on DeFi, NFT, infrastructure, and things like that in Solana. And they have received a whole bunch of sponsorships from big players in the space. and they'll be offering up rewards for all these people who are sort of writing creative content. I'm hoping they want to look for something a little bit more professional other than like Twitter threads and stuff all the time, because we've got a million people writing Twitter threads, a lot of copy paste stuff, but I'm hoping they sort of venture out for people writing mediums and writing on Medium and writing really in-depth technical articles. So that's sort of like right up our alley. So we got pretty excited about that. All the boys and girls, I should say, we're pretty excited about diving in and
let's not forget, mate.
And creating some cool stuff. We've got some really good topics we want to talk about. A lot of us have got a really good understanding of the DeFi space and specifically certain protocols. We do a lot of beta testing and things like that. So yeah, when it comes to technical writing, it's like, well, who better to ask than the Skribr crew, right? So we're excited about that. It should be really fun. Get everyone sort of involved, and hopefully we win some awards, which would be amazing, not just for our individual content creators, but for the Skribr brand and getting a little bit of awareness. Because one thing we do lack at the moment is social media presence. We all hate it. We all hate social media. Pretty much every single one of our content creators wish we didn't have to use social media. That's like
one isn't too terrible.
Yeah, one of them's pretty good at it.
You're our shining light, V. You're our only hope.
Yeah.
That's super cool. Do you have, does Skribr have a Medium?
We don't have a Medium, no, because I mean that's what Skribr is, right? It's a replacement for that in a way. I used to publish on Medium and did quite well. I didn't realize I used to make money. I remember logging in one time. I'm like, I got money on this thing. I was earning money on it. I didn't even know. But I kind of wanted all my stuff in one place, and I wanted to be able to do a few more things with it. So that's why I sort of created the Skribr site.
Right. Okay, that makes sense.
Bit more freedom of control.
Yeah,
you're very limited with what you can do with Medium. So
yeah, and they added paywall and stuff, so it get tricky like pretty fast. Like limited you, like they kind of destroyed their own product. It lost a lot of good vibes.
Well, you've got the benefit of being on a platform that already has users. So it's like being on YouTube. It's pretty hard to get noticed on YouTube, but that is where all your audience is. So if you're not making videos on YouTube, well, no one's going to see your stuff. Exactly. So they do have that going for it, but you have a very limited features what you can do with it.
GMs to everybody in the chat, except Huff Trades, because babe.
Shout out to the Aussie boys.
What is happening here?
The Aussies on top, baby.
You on my gender? That's weird.
Oh yeah, we're gonna have to educate him on that.
What? No.
Yeah. I've now trained the Skribr crew to say boys and girl.
Yes, we're very
until
inclusive.
We get other girls. They at least say that. But Huff needs a little media training for the culture.
No. Boys neutral.
Hi, Huff. Okay, great. So Solana Scribes is super exciting, and I think it will be a good vehicle for Skribr for sure. So something that's kind of been talked to death, but we do need to address it, is JUP and the aftermath of JUP, because it's like all of this free money landed in my account, and it was like, what do I do with it? And I made whatever decisions I made, which I thought was great. It's like I took $800 in USDC profit, and I left the rest of it, which was more than half. But like everybody's like bummed. It's like not enough free money. What?
That just shows the entitlement, right? The entitlement in the space. Everyone just expects everything for nothing, and if it's not as, I guess that like expectations as well, because everyone's on the timeline hyping it up, thinking that they're about to literally, retire wealthy, and then fall short of expectations. So, that's shit. They're not looking at the positives. Like, hey, you just got given like $1,500 or $2,000 for nothing, but instead you're like, yeah, but it's not 5. It's like, really, mate?
True.
It's never enough, is it? It's never enough.
We don't settle for less than 100,000 free airdrops. Like,
if I'm not getting airdrop $20,000, I don't want to know about it.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I guess some of them, it's not for nothing because they switched out money for a coin that went to zero. So now they're kind of making that money back. But
Yeah.
I mean, that was gone forever. It's one
Yeah.
point, babe. So like,
making
be
back all my
thankful.
losses.
But
Yeah.
I mean, like, yeah, some people, I saw a couple of tweets like where like they were saying like, yeah, my average income in my country is like $80 a month or something, and I got like 20,000 or 5,000 US dollars for free money. It's insane. It's insane.
It's pretty nuts. Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I've seen a few people get like pretty, even in like Western culture, pretty significant airdrops upwards of $10,000, $20,000. But these people are living in countries where that's pretty much an annual wage, and you're like, wow, that's pretty nuts. Yeah, like crypto really does have a ton of opportunities. It's pretty cool.
100%. I meant this tweet like the airdrop I got like last week was like my parents' yearly income, like
I saw that tweet.
Crazy shit. Like it's insane.
Yeah,
it's cool.
I think this is why, for me, like I think anyone who knows me knows one of my pet peeves is always people trying to assign moral judgments to buying or selling. Like, oh, how could you be selling your airdrop? But I'm like, you don't know people's situations. Some of these things, you have no idea what that money can do for people, and it can be a real eye opener as well. So, good on you to those people, and all the best to them. That's the beauty of what this space can offer.
Yeah. That's a really good way of looking at it. Imagine somebody who's probably not that well off gets given a $5,000 airdrop and they don't sell it. They gamble on it instead and go, oh, I'll just hold it and see if it goes to 10. And then it goes to 1, and it's like, man, that $5,000 could have fed your family for like, 3 months. It could have really changed your life a little bit, but decided to gamble on it. So yeah, I agree. Everyone's different.
Yeah.
But I
like to floor a little bit at the beginning. That's my strat.
Yeah.
Because then I don't.
I think
feel
that's good for you. It's good for your mental health, I reckon. Like, I think if you hang on to it and speculate on it too much, you're going to lose sleep over it. You're going to be angry at yourself. You're going to back and forward. You can sort of get paralysis. I think if you at least take some off the table straight up out the gate, you can sort of go like, all right, I'm in the green now. Whatever happens after this. I think it just it just makes you feel a little bit better. Just relieves a bit of stress, and you can just play it and see what happens. And sometimes that works out for the better, because there's nothing worse than like flooring something, a little bit too early and then watching it just go like a 10x. You're like,
well, done that as well.
We've all done that.
Yeah, I feel really attacked right now, mate.
But and how do you deal with that feeling, like the what if, like the what if I've done that, blah blah blah? Do you ever think about it?
Yeah, that's just something you just get used to as a trader. Like if you've been playing in this space long enough, you'll realize that those moments literally happen all the time. You just gotta deal with it. Like it's just how it is. Don't get hung up on it.
Between trading, like I feel like between having experience in trading and just always having to be like, okay, I lost at that one, got to move on to the next one. And then also just this being kind of the second cycle of this, I'm really like, every day you miss something, every day at the moment I miss something. Like last night, somebody in my space was talking about, remember when we got that tip for that and now it's at 100x? And I was like, first of all, I don't remember when we got that tip for that in the chat, but I've already moved on like 10 times since then. So, and I won some and I lost some.
Yeah. There's always going to be another opportunity. Don't get hung up on each individual trade.
Yeah. So it's really a training in itself to like set yourself up for that mindset where it's just like, don't hang on to what just happened, move on to the next thing. And at the moment,
sorry, I was going to say it's the mindset of like the get rich quick sort of mindset of like, I need to catch everything. I need to get rich. That could have been the trade that set me financially free. It's a very, scarcity mindset, if that makes sense. You have to catch everything when really there's tons of opportunities. You can miss
the whole coulda, woulda, shoulda mentality. Like there'll be an infinite number of things that you'll look back on and go, coulda, shoulda, woulda done that. But the reality is as well, your mind, we all know the mind has this weird way of fixating on weird things. It's always going to fixate on the one thing that you missed that was 100x, but you're not going to remember the 10 things that you faded that went to complete shit. as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's one thing I'm very grateful for, was having that trading experience coming into the space, because I'll tell you now, trading, pardon me, really puts that in your face, and you really got to deal with that. And it's as much a psychological game than anything else. As I had the privilege of learning from Donnie over these years. Yeah,
for sure. I listened to Trading in the Zone like 3 times as well, because I was like, you're not getting it.
That's a great
but yeah, no, it takes getting some hard knocks and taking some losses and really getting into it and becoming slightly unemotional about it, which is hard when you're like, you're doing that to like make a living or to, feed your family or something. But I guess for me, my biggest takeaway from trading is yes, moving on, but also 10 small wins is better than 1 big win, that you then lose 2 days later. And I always found that the faster I got it, the faster I lost it. Whereas like if I just did it gradually with 10 small wins, it meant more. So that's so back to Jupuary though. Obviously there was a lot of speculation which led to this disappointment, but what do you think, like, going forward for JUP? Like, what are your feelings, or what was your strat for JUP?
It was pretty controversial straight out the gate, because I mean, whenever there's an event like this, everyone's going to be bull posting. So I just expected it. Everyone's going to be having these crazy evaluations, $3, $5. It's like, come on, mate, really? But I think everyone was getting a little bit out of control when it came to the evaluations. They were comparing it to the likes of Uniswap, which, although it's a similar product, it's not the same product. In fact, I would almost argue that Uniswap actually makes money. It has a revenue model through trading fees in liquidity pools, whereas Jupiter doesn't. It's just an aggregator for other people who have businesses. So it's a very different business, although it does have the perp trading thing.
But
and they're also
they're making money right now with like the DLM, right?
Yeah, but that's a completely different. Yeah, that's Meteora. That's a completely different business.
No, but the Jupiter DLM, like the pool they set up themselves, right?
That was
but that's not their own product.
Yeah, that was just for the launch.
It's not from their own product.
Yeah, it has nothing to do with the actual day-to-day revenue.
So Jupiter is not doing any revenue right now, per se?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Okay.
It's an aggregator, right? So it finds you the best deal with other businesses. So there's all these other businesses that are doing that actually have liquidity provision, and they're the ones who are making fees. So you got Liquidity, Radium, Orca, all those guys.
Be making kickbacks from those fees, though.
No, they don't charge a fee. So they just get you the best deal, which is why everyone wants to use it, because it's very efficient. But they don't necessarily make money from it. I don't know if they are hacking on it. It'd be very, very small fee, because if they were putting a fee on it, then it would be cheaper to use Radium than it would be Jupiter. That's not the case. So from what I understand, there is no revenue model. However, they do have potential because they have such a large client base. So I think people are sort of speculating, it's the old sort of startup evaluation. It's not so much about how much money you're making. It's the theoretical value you can make based on your user base. So they have a huge user base, tons of volume. So theoretically, if they could figure out how to monetize their platform, they could make squillions. Hence, it'll have quite a high evaluation. So I think that's what everyone was sort of evaluating it on. But they're also looking at or comparing fully diluted market value to Uniswap during the bull market, which was like 22 billion or something like that. And it's like, we're not there yet. It's a different product. Yeah. That's, it was put it this way, it was way too high of an evaluation.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then also I think a lot of people, including myself, didn't understand the launch mechanism that they were using with the launch pad. I completely missed it. I didn't read the documents and I didn't catch any of Meow's live streams, that they were going to essentially suppress price on launch by putting X amount of money into the DLM pools, concentrated liquidity pools. So essentially they basically put a massive sell wall at 70 cents and a massive buy wall at, I think, 40 something cents.
Yeah.
So essentially it worked out great in theory, but I think it destroyed everyone's expectations because people were just thinking out the gate it's going to go to the moon. But what it did, it allowed all the people who had free coins who just wanted to realize the profit, it allowed them to dump into a pool without destroying it and just sending the thing to zero. And it allowed people who actually wanted to purchase a coin to come in and accumulate without, having slippage and going through the roof. I don't know if you guys have ever participated in IDOs, but you generally buy up the order book and it's fucking nuts, right?
Yeah.
So 70% slippage, baby.
Yeah.
What?
Don't remind me. Don't remind me. It's time gone past. Yeah.
Essentially, it did its job, but I think that disappointed everyone because everyone didn't realize that was going to happen. They thought moon out the gate, and then it did its job, suppressed the price. So it upset a lot of people, disappointed them. So, but that's been removed now. So we're going to get some volatility and actual price discovery. We'll see where it goes from here.
But it's bullish long term too to have that kind of launch too, right? Because like the risk reward of like, okay, so you don't have a price discovery in the first hours/days of launch, but your token is just not a influencer pump and up neither, right?
Well, it could have gone the opposite way, right? What happens if they didn't do any sort of cushioning with the concentrated pool and just left it for the market to decide? And then you've got all these, Solana paws just literally dumping on the market, realizing they're $50 and stuff. They could have literally just sent the token down to 10 cents out the gate, and everyone would have just flooded the shit out of it, and it would have been game over anyway. So I think they did a really good job. They're building for the long term. Jupiter's there's a good team. They're not stupid.
So it sounds like sorry. Leeway.
Oh, sorry. I was just going to say,
put your hand up, Leeway.
Yeah, sorry, hands up, guys. I think it's very easy for people to fixate on like, because of this, it's stopped price going up in this way. It's very easy to ignore. Well, it'll also stop price going down the other way too, the way that it was set up. I think this whole thing really, for me at least, sort of demonstrated who really knew what they were talking about. I know Donnie knows me very well. Like, I'm very particular about people's choices of words. And one thing that always irritated me is people referring to Jupiter as a DEX in the traditional sense, which technically it really isn't because it doesn't have its own liquidity pools. It does now with its perpetuals, but there's a reason why they've introduced all these features that they can monetize, their perpetual trading, their DCA, that they monetize through that. That's how they get their income from. They've got the LFG launchpad. That's why all these things have come in. Yeah. And I personally, I have to say, I've been very impressed with how Jupiter have handled things, how Meow has handled things. Like, I couldn't believe some of the stuff, like, so professional. So many things they didn't have to do, all that effort to help people with compromised wallets. They probably wouldn't have had to do that. The amount of stress that they put themselves through to help people with that, the amount of crap that their devs were getting, or the tickets they were getting, they shouldn't have had to deal with that. But they did because they wanted to do the right thing by people. And that, for me, I thought was incredible. And then the launch mechanics I thought were really clever because they didn't want to go the VC route. If they go the VC route, you're held to promises to that VC. So this allowed them to sell their tokens for a raise without those kinds of obligations. People can accumulate who missed out on the airdrop at a decent price without price going through the roof. Overall, I was, really, really impressed with it all.
And the
not me being bullish necessarily. Yeah, unbelievable.
Oh.
So I thought it was really clever. And I think Shimmy's made a really good comments as well. Lesson I learned from Denomics too, which I personally use as the thirds. Always have a rule of three. Sorry, you got one that's 1/3 to sell right away, lock in your some profit or capital, whatever it might be. Another third to, if there's a quick pump, you can take advantage of that. And then the rest is free ride, to Valhalla or zero. Whatever happens.
Just in case
that's worked very well for me too.
It's Bitcoin's market cap. You never know.
Yeah, for sure. You never know.
But like for Jupiter, like, do you consider like the fact that they can set like provide liquidity and become market maker for their own token, but also for other tokens, like as a business model too, or no?
As in what, they'll become market makers for hire?
Yeah,
I mean, they do exist. There's a lot of prop firms and hedge funds and stuff that do it. So
exactly.
I mean, I don't really have a problem with it. I think a lot of stuff in DeFi is, if you look behind the curtain, that's kind of what it is. Yeah, a lot of the TVL and stuff you see, it's sort of like, it's kind of bullshit. I mean, you would have seen some meme coins, some absolute stupid meme coins having millions of dollars a day trading volume. You're like, Yeah, I don't know. When you know that all your mates are buying $20 worth and $50 worth, who's trading millions of dollars worth? We do a lot of on-chain analytics, and when you start diving in, you realize that there's a few wallets who control a lot of that volume. I can't remember the name of it. It's not BitGet. Is it BitGet? No, BitGet's an exchange. There is a group that do it. You can literally hire them. Brand new coins that can hire them to market make their tokens, get some volume and have some liquidity there. So
market making, it's kind of necessary even for like NFT launch collection and stuff, but like it's different than wash trading, obviously. And for like Famous Clouds, it's basically the market maker of Bonk right now. I don't know if you saw his tweets about buying $3 of bonks every day, but we see
clouds. I see that. I see him posted every day, like bought some more bonk. I'm like, how much are you buying? And then he posted his screenshot one day. He bought like $3. I'm like, oh god, he's bought a couple of bucks.
He's market making bonk.
For the culture, I guess.
Exactly. From off. This is one of the things that have made me bullish on JUP, the attention to details and care they show during development of the airdrop and the long-term approach they're taking. Yeah. Definitely playing the long game. 100%.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And I think their product, like these guys can innovate on what they've already got. They've got the user base, they've got the volume, and they've got the smarts. Like they can clearly build good tech. I mean, Meteora, which was formerly Mercurial, I'm pretty sure. That's already innovating with the DLM pools and things like that. They've got the smarts, they've got the devs, they can build good products. So I'd back them 100%. I didn't sell all my JUP. I sold a big chunk of it. I got a decent drop, but I'm quite happy to hold it. This is what I was most pissed off about, and this is what made me actually go and research and find out what was going on, because I love playing on the DLM pools, and the drop for us in Australia was like 2 o'clock in the morning. So I'm up at 2 o'clock in the morning, smashing down coffees, just waiting to get my allocation so I can go and load it all into the DLMs and then just go to bed. And I got it all set up, and I'm watching the pools. And I'm like, man, this thing's printing like a couple of dollars like a minute, like literally just printing money. I'm like, sweet, I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to wake up in the morning. There'll probably be another $1,000 sitting there. I got up in the morning and it's almost like it stopped trading, even though it was well within my range. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And sorry, I'm not sure if I'm allowed to swear on here. But that's when I went researching, and I'm like, holy shit, look at the dilution in the pools. There's like $12 million in this pool. No wonder I'm not making any money. Yeah. So that sort of, it caught me off guard. And then that's when I went and researched and found out what they had done. And I'm like, that makes a lot more sense. I probably shouldn't have done that. But anyway.
But you didn't come out, but you didn't lose from that situation because that stabilized price actions. You wouldn't have had like IL and stuff like that coming.
No, there was no real impermanent loss. And the money I did make during that short period before it got diluted, I wasn't much, when I say it was printing money, it looked like it was going to print money, but obviously it got diluted very quickly and it just slowed down instantly. Okay. So,
it was follow for more financial advice, guys.
Yeah.
More tips and tricks with Skribr. Do DYOR, I guess that's a lesson, not a very brutal lesson in DYOR. So it looks like Sharky is launching Shark through the JUP launchpad. Are we bullish? Are we bearish? Are we just interested to see how it goes?
I'm bullish, and I guess I'm allowed to mention this. I think I am. I don't see why not. If we're not, I'll find out tomorrow. But Skribr actually did a strategic partnership and was an investor in the Sharky new Sharky token that is launching. So I won't say too much about it, but pretty bullish with what they're doing. I saw the pitch deck and I was like, this makes sense. It's pretty cool. And we wanted to sort of get into some different circles and stuff. So it made sense for us to do a sort of joint venture. So that was exciting. And then, when I saw the tweet today that they will be launching on the LFG launchpad, I was like, sweet. That's good, because it means that we're going to have this nice, well, I'm assuming they're going to run it the same sort of methodology and hopefully get some, suppression on launch so we don't see people dumping tokens and whatnot. So, I'm bullish. With what Sharky's doing, I'm bullish.
Nice.
You know, what came to my mind when you started talking was it's easier to ask for forgiveness than permission, isn't it?
That's right. I'll deal with the slap on the wrist tomorrow.
Nah, should be sweet. Look excited for that one too.
Yeah. Okay, so moving on from Jepuary and all that includes, let's talk about the Solana outage and the aftermath or lack thereof aftermath. Because I woke up to see Solana down and I was like, cool, all right, I'll just wait for it up. And then actually I read Twitter and I read your post and you're like, RIP to the people with money on Meteora. Denomics, and I was like,
Camino.
I
anybody doing
have a little
lending
money on
online?
Meteora right now, so I was like looking at the refresh page, waiting to take my money off immediately, like front run everybody. I was like, degens aren't up yet; it's 7 a.m. Eastern, so I took everything off. But it seems like there wasn't super dangerous stuff.
Not a lot of blood at all. Yeah. In fact, it ended up being somewhat of a bullish event.
Yeah, we took 5% after it.
Yeah, I've got a mate in I guess the Web 2 space, right? And he's like the Ethereum guy. I'm the Solana guy. So we're at it all the time. It's become more of a joke than anything else. But whenever Solana goes down, I'm just like, oh no, I'm gonna cop it. And sure. I thought I'd beat him to the punch. I tried like doing an Eminem 8 Mile style thing, and I thought I'd jump in first. Started hanging shit on myself, thinking that'll make it a bit easier. It was a good time. So I quickly jumped on the Twitter to. My instant thought was like, oh, Mert is probably copping this something quite right now. And sure enough, he'd like changed his name and everything.
He's so sweet. Yeah. We have been on board today.
You won't be able to contact me. It's weird, right? Like you would think it's a pretty big deal and everyone would be worried, but I think most people who are believers in Solana and what they're building, I think they're just sort of over it to the point where just like, it'll be back up sooner or later. And like people, I guess, saw it as a buying opportunity as soon as it came back online and it was 10% cheaper or whatever it was. Boom, just got bought back up and it was higher than it was before the outage. And it's forgotten about already. So I was a little bit disappointed that we didn't get to that 12-month mark without an outage. That sucked. But,
by a couple of days.
Yeah, it's a psyop, bro. It's a psyop that didn't want the 1-year mark, so they shut it down themselves.
I'm convinced it was for the culture. No one from the team said anything. It was for the culture, for sure.
Exactly.
For sure.
Like Solana got like news coverage left and right because of the outage, right? So it's good.
Who knows? Maybe in the future, we've got Bitcoin Pizza Day. We'll introduce Solana Outage Day. Everyone's going to touch grass.
Exactly.
Get out to go touch grass. I think nothing's working today.
I can't remember who it was, but someone made a pretty interesting point and made a lot of sense to me, which is, Solana is doing probably more transactions than most other blockchains. It's getting like really tested and pushed to its limits and doing it all by itself, whereas a lot of other chains have multiple layers or modular with more blockchains bolted on the side of it. So it's being battle tested and it's coming out stronger than ever. So I see it as positive. Like it's not ideal that it goes down, doesn't look good, but I mean you try and put any other blockchain through the same sort of stresses that Solana goes through and they'll probably crack the shits as well. Like we've seen other blockchains go down. And people, the biggest argument I always get from all the ETH maxis is like, it's down again, and you can't even use your blockchain. But then I'd sort of say back to them like, how many times have you gone to send your mate or whatever some Ethereum, and it's going to cost you $65, and you can't use the blockchain? Like, what's the difference between Solana going down, not being able to use it, and Ethereum having such high gas fees that you can't use it? Like, you can't use either chain.
$65 is actually kind of cheap. When I was on ETH, which I tried to never be on anymore, but when I started on ETH, the gas fees were more than the minting fees almost all the time.
I remember those days very well.
So it would be like $100 NFT and $1,000 gas fee, and
that was when everyone was trying to jump over the front of each one. Yeah, this is stupid. It doesn't make sense. But it's the experience that is a massive turnoff. I ran a DeFi workshop a couple of weeks ago for the MTC group. Shout out to anyone from MTC listening. It was a bit of an onboarding for them. And I specifically decided I'm going to show you guys Phantom Wallet. I'm going to talk about Solana, and I'm going to show you how to use a bunch of stuff on Solana. And I did that specifically because I knew that they would understand it. It'd be easy for them to use, and they could actively participate in what I'm doing without spending a shitload of money and losing all this money on fees and bridges and shit like that. And they all loved it. And then after that, I expanded on it a little bit. And I said, look, I'm not going to try and pigeonhole you to Solana. I want you guys to go out and try other blockchains and explore, the world of DeFi. And I got them to do some stuff on ZK Sync, doing some farming and things like that. And as soon as I had to download MetaMask wallet, adding networks to the wallet, bridging from this chain to that chain, paying $6 in gas fees, they're like, this is shit. I'm like, yeah, imagine if I had told you this is DeFi from the get-go, you would have just walked off. So there's no way that anyone is getting involved with that shit. That is not going to onboard the masses. It's going to be something like Solana. It just made me more bullish on Solana as a whole after that experience.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I've tried 3 times now to mint on Say, because they're the hype NFT. And while I didn't want to do it, it was like, all right, well, it's still it's had more longevity. I thought it was just going to be like an Aptos type run. It's had more longevity, so I was like, okay, let me go try it out. And I got the wallet, I got a little Say. I've tried to mint a couple of things, and it's literally like that kind of old time Solana PTSD where it's like failed transaction, sold out. It goes from 50. So I was like, I think I'd just rather mint something on Solana someday than go through this all the time. There was another experience I was going to talk about, but
Dim?
Oh, no. Modular. Modular, I think, is super cool. I do like the Kepler wallet. But like, for example, the DIM drop that we got, it went into my Kepler wallet on the Osmo chain. And I had to transfer it, which I think is the coolest part to me, like that, you can send something basically on the wrong chain and then transfer it. And that took a whole night.
Yeah, I think I don't know whether it was the IBCs that were getting, backlogged or whether it was the chain, but I did see that a lot of people couldn't move it around. I had some trouble where so I was using Osmosis Zone to do a swap, and it wouldn't even let me deposit it onto Osmo chain. So I got it on the Dime network and chucked it onto Kepler. And then, to do a swap, I had to use Osmo Zone, but it wouldn't even allow me to deposit it. The IBC wasn't operating. And then I went online and found out that everyone was having dramas where it was taking hours. And
oh my God.
So I was like, not a good start. But today it was working. I managed to do some stuff today.
It went through, and I got to stake it and everything. But that first day, it was like, what's happening right now?
Everyone trying to jump on at the same time and do their stuff. So in hindsight, okay, it kind of makes sense. But I'll admit, I think I feel like I've been around for a while. I used to play back in the day on Ethereum, AVAX, all those different chains. Found Solana and fell in love. And this was getting the Dime airdrop. It's the first time in a while I'd ventured outside Solana. And it's just a reminder of why am I doing this shit? Oh yeah, free. Okay, all right. You've got. But still,
I jumped on the voice chat today, Leeway, with Gabby, because he got a Dime drop, and I was helping him sort it out. And okay, now you got to put your private key into the Kepler, and then you got to send it to that wallet, and then now we got to go to the IBC, we're going to bridge it to Osmo, then you go into Osmo Zone, then we're going to swap it for TIA, and then you're going to send your TIA back through the IBC back to the TIA network, and then you go and stake it. And he's like, man, why isn't this like Solana where it's just like this one thing? I'm like, yeah, I know. You
lost me after step 2 of that, I'll be honest with you.
The more you use other chain, the more you love Solana, right?
Exactly.
Well, you see that feedback quite a lot, right? Where I've seen so many people who've been ETH maxis who've sort of stuck to their guns. Eventually they cave. they come to Solana and they're like, yo, this is what it could be like. And we're all just like, this is what we've been trying to tell you this whole fucking time.
Man, like,
but, you're just so stubborn. But, people say like, oh, it was out for a couple hours. I'm still used to waiting 2 to 3 days for bank transfers over here in Australia. So, you got to be mindful of, what you usually do.
Yeah. I had to do a bank transfer recently where I actually had to go into the bank. I was bearish.
Oh, human contacts. Ooh.
Yeah, it was an hour in front of a banker, like trying to do a bank transfer. I actually had to fly to a place to get into a brick and mortar to transfer the money. Super bearish.
I love that comment by Hoff Trades. By far the worst free 2K members. I'm with you on that, man. It's so true.
You almost give up on the $2,000 just because
this isn't even worth it.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got to bridge this stuff. Forget it. You can sit in the wall.
I will come back to this airdrop in 2025.
When while we're on the topic, let's talk about wallets, because Emmy released a wallet. I have always had a Soulflare wallet, but have a newfound love for it. Like, I really rediscovered it the other day when somebody told me that you could send multiple NFTs at the same time, but I've been using it more and
full screen mode.
Kind of in love with it. Yeah, you keep on telling me about that. I don't know what you're talking about. But we've got a bunch of wallets. I mean, I've never opened my backpack since I set it up. No shade, but just never done it. There's Soulflare, there's Phantom. Phantom's still pretty much the go-to, from what I can see. I've set up an Emmy wallet, but I haven't funded it. I haven't tried it out. I guess the best thing to do would be to try it out with Emmy, but I'm kind of and we'll get to this. I'm kind of not buying a lot of NFTs at the moment, so to try that seamlessness between Magic Eden Marketplace and Magic Eden Wallet, haven't had the opportunity yet. But what are your thoughts on wallets right now? Do you have a fave? Do you think we're going to see more new wallet meta?
I don't know if we're going to see more new ones. I mean, people are always trying to build new wallets, but I think it's one of those things where if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Like, we don't need 40 different versions of something that does the job already. I'm a big Phantom fan. It was literally the first wallet I used when I came to Solana, and I still use it to this day. I think it's the best wallet there is in crypto, for various reasons. I'm sure there's other wallets out there that have got really cool features, but I think this Phantom wallet does an amazing job of what you want it to do. Soulflare, I've used it a couple of times, but I think at the time I was still a big fan of Phantom, so I stopped using it. I've tried Backpack a few times. I got the beta test when it first came out, played around with it with their exchange and stuff, but it's good, but there's nothing there that is trying to pull me away from Phantom. I still haven't downloaded the Magic Eden one yet, though. I don't know why I haven't bothered to do that. Probably the same reason as UV. I'm just not interested in that market at the moment, so I haven't bothered to try it. But
the only good thing about it is that, as soon as the ETH marketplace launches, you can have everything in that one wallet, which, switching from the Xverse to the Kepler Kepler's a bad example because that's not going to be in there, but the MetaMask, which MetaMask makes me so sad all the time.
It's terrible.
You know what I'm saying? Maybe Emmy is going to get my market share there, because I just like the mental strength it takes to open my MetaMask, which I only really do more now because of farming, but before this, maybe once a month, maybe once every 3 months, even, just to be like, oh yeah, you're these NFTs are still zero. Cool.
Phantom solved the wallet issue in 2021. That's it. The pain point of what other wallet can do that Phantom can't, it's just one feature away to get crushed anyway. And the UX UI from MetaMask and Phantom is a 10x, but what?
More, I'd give it more than
I agree, 100%.
So, but like from Backpack to Phantom, that's not that crazy. So no one really adopted because there is no pain point to solve. Because again, Phantom did it like 3 years ago. So like,
I will argue
that's why I don't understand Magic Eden.
The last 2 updates, kind of like Discord, I haven't been happy with Phantom. Like, they've just been doing too much for too little. And it started to feel a little bit MetaMask-y to me, and I was just like, oh, PTSD, don't like it.
Yeah, there was the one upgrade they did that felt like they went backwards, and I think it had something to do with the copying of the wallets or the wallet tree or something. They did one little thing, and it made me go, take it back, please. Go back one update. But I mean, I got used to it again, so it doesn't matter now.
That's because when you start to lose your focus and try to like serve a bigger audience, you lose your core features of like Phantom is a Solana wallet. And now I'm going to see my ETH network. I'm going to see my fucking like a Polygon, whatever address, blah, blah, blah. So then you add like complexity layers that you didn't have with your core product stuff. And that's what happened with Magic Eden. Like when they launched the multi-chain on ordinals and ETH, Polygon, whatever, you lose your Solana people. And then Tensor arrived, and then you lose the market share when Tensor is only focusing on Solana, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
without being too controversial, I would say that's debatable. But
I was going to say there's a few different reasons why that happens. Like one, and I've had big chats with Wing about this from Magic Eden as well, which is Magic Eden try to cater towards content creation and the average Joe wanting to buy the art and all that sort of stuff. They're collectors. Whereas Tensor is much more of a trader's market. People who are buying whitelists and quickly dumping them, looking for the pullbacks and buying and selling, and it's more a trader's platform. But I'm pretty sure this is what Leeway was going to say as well, which is the points farming. If you did not have points farming, I guarantee not many people would use Tensor. They would have never got the market share it ever got. And that's not throwing any shade on Tensor. It's a great product. I'm just saying that you drop an incentive with a speculation of future value by trading on it, you 100% attract all the volume.
Yeah, but I think Jared from Sniper shared like a tweet with a market volume, because like Sniper got like 10% of the market share. Tensor is still 60% when Magic Eden is getting those point farming because of the diamond stuff right now. So like they're losing some of them, but like we kind of like probably in a trader's market anyway, right? So that's why people are still using Tensor.
They're still fighting though. They're still fighting for it. So now they're offering like multipliers for certain collections to encourage more trading on there. Like they're just going to keep fighting. It's going to be a race to zero. They'll just keep fighting and offering more incentives. The people who are trading on there are only going to be there. They're there for extracting value. Take away that incentive, and they all disappear again. It's all falsified. It's just, but I'm not a huge fan of what they're doing. But it is what it
is having a Magic Eden wallet will increase your volume on your marketplace? Do you see it?
I don't know. It depends what that experience is like. It could help a lot, but I think Magic Eden's real goal is focusing more on multi-chain. The Bitcoin, the Ethereum, and the Solana market, and catering. Oh, we've lost Leeway. And catering to a more friendly, I don't want to say newbie, but a collector's market.
Yeah.
The average Joe. It's not the diehard traders. What is that?
I think where ME is winning right now is ordinals, right?
Yeah, I think collectively, if you look at all of their volume, it's probably more than Tensor if you look at all of their volume. Possibly. I don't know. I haven't actually done the stats. But, the fact that they do a lot of volume on Bitcoin as well, I'd say they're probably doing overall more volume.
Yeah, but wait for
my
interpretation.
Bitcoin. My personal interpretation of what Magic Eden's been trying to do is create that experience for that new person who comes along. Is you've got the wallet, you've got a marketplace, have fun, have at it, all in one.
Yeah.
It's definitely a different sort of ball game, but I think
user experience.
Yeah, exactly. Even though Tensor are still on top of with their market share, I think Exhibit A is simply Magic Eden jumped up once they revealed the diamond system. Just sort of tells you what most people are motivated. A lot of people are motivated by. You've still got Tensor. They've still got, I think, their next season coming up anyway. So that's still an active incentive in place. So I'm not saying that that's entirely the motivating factor, but you certainly can't ignore it for sure.
Yeah. If they drop their token tomorrow and points farming wasn't a thing, I can guarantee all that volume will go over to Magic Eden.
Yeah, but we still don't know what diamonds do, right? So
well, I don't know why is everyone saying that? Because I'm sure, I don't know whether I have inside information or people just aren't picking up what's been said, but Magic Eden have clearly come out and said that they're building this NFT DAO. Do they call it NFT DAO? I think it's called NFT DAO.
Non-fungible DAO.
Yeah, non-fungible DAO. And they are going to launch a token called NFT. And you are now earning Magic Eden diamonds, which will be converted into NFT tokens. Like, is people not putting that puzzle piece together? Like,
because I've seen so many people something isn't connecting with the way they described it.
Really?
They haven't explicitly stated it.
Yeah, because they can, because of regulation, because of US regulation. So like you create a DAO to like do your airdrop for you. You have like happy users because they got free money, but you didn't do the airdrop. That bro, like the View liquidity pool will be set up by the Views DAO.
Woo. Yeah.
Woo. You got to give Gary Gensler a call just to let him know.
Then you will have a fake tweet announcement about something. Oh yeah, the Views ETF has been approved. Let's go. That's what's up. Thanks, Gary.
I'd love to see like a merger photo of Vittler and Gary Gensler where they morph people's faces together now.
I made a thumbnails when I went live on that with ChatGPT. I create like a. That was cool. That was nice.
God.
I think I need to see this. I definitely need to see this.
How did you miss it?
Yeah, it
was terrifying.
Yeah, it's so cool. I loved it so much, right? That was so fun.
Yeah, it's something that would scare children.
Yeah.
All right. So, kind of the reason we all met, NFTs. How do we feel about? I mean, I've kind of stated how I feel about them right now, but how do we feel about them? Like, are we gonna have a new chapter, a renaissance? What do you feel on this exactly?
You want me to go first, or you want Leeway to go
first?
Yes, please go first. Yes, speak the truth.
So, I'm bullish on NFT technology, and I'm bullish on a few projects that are still around doing some cool stuff. But I'm very bearish on, I guess you could say, the current state of the NFT market. The participants, the founders, the ideas, the use cases. I feel like we haven't learned anything, and we're just seeing the same thing, just rinse and repeat, recycle, send it to zero, rinse, repeat, recycle. It's just the same thing. No one's learning. And so the biggest problem I've noticed over the last couple of years probably is the incompetency of the teams and founders, very inexperienced in life in general, but definitely in business. Seeing behind the scenes with some of these projects, how they manage funds, their vision, their idea, their rollout. It's very very young, immature, unprofessional. It's just terrible, and it's shit. Like, and that's why so many of them fail, because they just don't know what they're doing, basically. I think, what else? I think the use case that a lot of people are trying to do right now just is done to death. And so liquidity is so fragmented that it just can't come back. We've just diluted it with more and more of the same thing, that money is so fragmented that everyone has lost money, and no one has any money to inject into anything new. That's why we've seen the last couple of hyped projects that, we're going to pull an old OK Bears, all literally minted out and then just went down. Because no one has any money left to speculate. People are literally jumping on pre-sales to make $10 on the flip because that's all you can get out of it. And it's just like, man, if that's the current state of the market, yeah, I'm bearish as shit. Like I don't think we're going to see a recovery anytime soon. But I think what is going to play out is we're going to have those OG blue chip provenance plays will probably hang around. Money will sort of stay there and flood into them because the team's probably got big enough treasuries and are competent enough to sort of weather the storm. But I think NFTs are going to have to go through that cycle where we're going to see the crypto market explode. Money's going to flow into the crypto market. Things are going to go nuts. 10Xs, 100Xs. We're going to have an up-only market. People are going to make a lot of money, and then the yield's going to start to slow down. You know, Bitcoin's going to do 2% a day, and people aren't going to be, this is boring. So they're going to be looking at altcoins, Solana and AVAX, and then they're going to be doing 100%ers, but then they're going to slow down and do 5%ers. And everyone's, well, this is boring. Let's buy some Shiba. Let's buy some Bonk. Yeah, they start getting riskier and riskier, and eventually they'll find NFTs again because there'll be a new wave of grifters come in to launch and hype up new speculative plays on NFTs, and then it will explode again. So it'll just be secular. I think what we're going to see is just secular trends on NFTs. They'll come and go. They'll have these little spurts of liquidity. But until we see the space mature, where we see more professionals come in, professional teams come in and actually build real use cases that have well thought out plans that can actually generate revenue and sustain a business model and grow and have, you know, completely new activations and experiences and stuff with NFTs, then it will survive. But if we're just going to keep seeing the same thing where people are launching hyped up 10K collections, PFP art, staking, tokens, raffles, merch drops, blah, 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 community, send it all to zero.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I would like to put some accountability on the buyers in the market as well, because the people, you know, I'm in
people are enabling this shit.
Yeah, I'm in enough group chats and one of one DAOs now where it's like, this is gonna send, and it's like, but why is it gonna send, and why are you giving your money to somebody who has already sent your stuff to zero 3 times already on purpose, maybe? Allegedly.
I thought I was going to get kicked out of some one DAOs the other day because of the discussions I was having. I was getting right into it, super passionate, because I was watching these guys. I think it was Teddies. They were talking about Teddies, and they were all hyped up. Oh yeah, gonna flip it, this, that. And then I'm watching them, and they're literally trying to flip for $10, and I'm like, you guys are the problem. You guys are the reason the NFT market is so shit, because everybody is here to just dump on everyone, try and make $5. Everyone's fighting for pre-sales so that they can literally sell it and make $10 and run before the market just dies. I'm like, you enable this stuff. The only reason that we keep getting new shit projects is because people like you keep giving them money to mint out. If you stop supporting it, if you stop minting this dog shit, then the standards are higher, and people building subpar projects won't be able to mint out. So eventually they'll stop doing it. There won't be these people coming in trying to launch projects because they know full well that no one's going to buy their shit. We need the standards to be raised so much, more accountability in the space.
Yeah. I get in trouble in the group chat all the time because, number one, for example, I'm in there with one of the founders of what was one of the big hype projects this year, and somebody said, what do you think of this project? And I said, I'd like them to do one thing well instead of the 15 things they're trying to do, so I won't be minting. And that was before I knew the person's history at all. And it's like, people are just saying that something's gonna pop when there's no legitimate reason for it to pop. I'm also bearish AF on 10K collections. I don't think there's a place for them anymore. I think that's old meta. I think I'm actually pretty much like, if you're a 3,000 collection, I think that's sensible. Anything above that is a little bit tricky, in my opinion, in this economy. Hi.
Leeway's got his hand. Let's go to the hands.
Thank you for respecting the hand.
Thank you for respecting the hand. Look, at the risk of being too bearish, because I feel like it's sort of a perpetual state for me at the moment, but I think for me personally, my view on NFTs for a long time, I've been saying this for a long time, is that, look, the way market cycles typically work, at some point NFTs will have their summer, so to speak, but I'm not convinced it will look the same as before. I think one of the reasons for that is that every market cycle brings some new shiny thing that's going to draw people's attention. So whether or not NFTs can capture that attention away, especially given that how much, fractured trust there is, especially with the idea of utility projects. I think the way I see NFTs in that context right now is, and this quote still makes me laugh to this day, is that it allows people who are in no way qualified to invest in projects run by those who are in no way qualified. Obviously, there are exceptions to that. That's not a go at everyone per se, but that's the vast majority of this space. And I do think that, as Denomics has said, the future of NFTs are going to shift more towards actual real life use cases. So things like ticketing for events, proof of authenticity, trading, luxury goods on the secondary market. We've seen some of those ideas as well. And I think the way I'm seeing it right now too is the difference for me between, say, meme coins and shit coins and NFTs right now is that at least shit coins don't have teams pretending that they're trying to do a whole lot with it. The pretense is removed. It's a spade to spade. It is what it is, and people treat it for what it is. And one thing that really sort of irritated me with NFTs was how illogical it was. With the way my brain works, if something pumps, I'm looking for a reason why. And if I can't think of a logical reason why that's happened, I'm usually going to assume there's something going on behind the scenes we don't know about. And I think people really underestimate the influence that can have as well in the NFT space. More and more people have been joking about the cabal, for example. Like, that's very much a real thing, in my opinion. So that's my bare take.
Like, in a way, it's kind of like, okay, so I don't know where I'm going with it. Sentence, but like the Illuminati stuff, there is no Illuminati with like dark room and stuff like, oh yeah, let's manipulate the world. But like, you have people who like, for example, for big companies or like organize their own competition, right? Like publicly, they almost fight in front of the press, but like in the back end, like they're going to the same golf court and shit, and they are best friend, BFF forever, right? So BFF forever, no, BFF that just can be forever. But like, yeah, it happened, and it's kind of like human behavior too, right? Like it's expected.
I think another thing you look at too is how many things have occurred where people immediately assumed once that happens, liquidity flows into NFTs, and it did not happen. JUP was one of them. They're like, JUP money into NFTs, and we have not seen that happen at all. So, Exhibit A, in my opinion.
Sorry, something that you said early on, Leeway. Should we be calling NFTs like wrapped shitcoins? Because they're really just like a PFP wrapped around a shitcoin at the moment.
Well, it's funny, right? Because I used to get so irritated when people just referred to NFTs as JPEGs, and now I'm kind of like, they might as well fucking be. Let's be honest.
That's okay. So for me, like in a way, like the NFTs are really powerful compared to coins and meme coins when you take in the fact that people are flexing them on Twitter, and that's free marketing. That's community free marketing, and that you don't really have with a meme coin. Like, no one is wearing like a bonk on socials, right? Like, but everyone is. A lot of people are wearing their Mad Labs PFP because they own at least one Mad Labs, right? And that's really valuable when you go to space and you see like the full crown of your in your audience wearing a Mad Lab or / Decod3rs. I think that's the biggest like targeted marketing features for NFTs that you don't have with memes.
So the only thing I'd say to that is you're absolutely right. NFTs have largely been used as a marketing tool, trying to align incentives. The issue I have with that is none of that, very little of that is ever genuine. It's always motivated by some sort of self-interest on some level. So whenever I see people shilling something, whether it's a shitcoin or NFT, I'm always at the back of my mind. I'm very cynical. Like, what are you getting out of that too? And the NFT community as a marketing thing is a double-edged sword very, very quickly, because if they're representing you, but they're not getting what they think they want, they will turn on you very, very quickly as well. And we've seen that with so many projects too.
But the same way you flex your Supreme t-shirt on last Nike sneakers and stuff, right? Like, it's a social status game. Like, why would you spend like 2,000 bucks on a Balenciaga rip-off t-shirt stuff when you can go to like the next shop in your street and buy exactly the same stuff for 10 cents?
See, this is where I'm probably the worst person to talk to about this, because again, all this stuff about social status, I'm just like, okay, ego feeding. And in real life, I'm not someone who likes to wear lots of brands, partially because I'm Chinese and I know how much the markup is and the factory costs, but also it's just not something I particularly value as well.
I do want to say, like, the brilliant thing about NFTs is like there's an emotional pull to them, right? Like that little picture, like it's like, oh, you're so cute, I don't want to let go of you, kind of thing. Like there's that emotional bribery aspect of it that's just genius. And then the other thing that you kind of touched on, where I think NFTs are really going to win in the future, they just haven't, and they've talked about it a lot, they just haven't harnessed it in the right way yet, is when they can use that for, like, especially for sneakerheads, because I used to be a very big sneakerhead, when they can use that as proof of authenticity for sneakers, and you're not buying a pair of, I don't know, the latest Air Force Ones for $700, the Supreme collab or whatever, and and then you find out they're fake and you're using an NFT to prove that, you're buying an authentic product. When they finally harness that, I think that NFTs will go through the roof. But that's not going to be a very personal thing unless you're a sneakerhead or you're a Balenciaga bag holder, right? But that I think is one of the renaissances once they harness that.
But imagine, like, okay, so watch to earn, decoders, blah, 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 PFP, cool, makes sense. Imagine Mr. Beast releasing like release a NFT collection, and all of the followers that he has are wearing Mr. Beast PFP, like kind of Trump, but like on social, on Twitter. Like, the culture shift would be massive, and it would, like, the brand will be 24/7 on socials with like millions of followers with like one PFP. Like, it would be massive, you know what I mean?
So,
like, the use case at scale is insane.
So my question is this: I'm really worried I'm sounding like a perma bear here. To be clear, I'm not bearish on NFT. I'm just trying to think, like, for someone like to get to that point where they can sell that NFT for their own brand, like a Mr. Beast.
Yeah.
Is he really going to get much more marketing than he is already from that? Is my question.
Like,
because you have to have some degree of clout to be able to sell out a collection like that.
Yeah.
So how much more are you really going to get if you had that clout to begin with, if you know what I mean?
Because every time someone tweets with your NFT collection, like, you associate the brand. Like, like someone
it's
random with
face.
like. Exactly. Like, it's like a 20,000, like, so you have Mr. Beast that have like, I don't know, like 100 million followers, but each of those followers have like 1,000, 2,000, 5,000, like, followers that also see this Mr. Beast PFP. Like, the madness, it would be crazy. Like, if the Trumpers were on socials and wearing Trump's PFPs, that would be fun.
I think it's like a different level of subliminal messaging. That's true. It's like,
it's less subliminal when you're wearing a PFP of Trump on social, but like, I
think the biggest downfall of that, though, like, I understand what you're saying, but a lot of everyone's tried to do that. There's a lot of projects that have tried to do the whole build a brand and have all your people rep it, blah, blah, blah. But again, this comes back to the participation or the participants that are currently here. they don't have very large outside audience. They all live in this little echo chamber. They're all fighting for followers. You see lots of people, I've got 20,000 followers and stuff. But even though there's only like 4,000 people in the ecosystem or something, they're not actually advertising or getting brand awareness outside of their little circle. So it's not really being effective at the moment, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
that's my opinion of it. I might be completely wrong, but what I see, you still mention something like OK Bears to someone, they don't know what the fuck you're talking about, because OK Bears only exists in the echo chamber 100%. Of Solana, NFT, Twitter.
Exactly, but that's why, for example, with OK Bears, I don't understand why you have a T-shirt in Zara store. Like, give you a T-shirt at NFT NYC, NFT Paris, and NFT events. Like, it's cool to flex Zara collab stuff, but like, who bought you're never gonna buy a OKBS T-shirt and then buy 2,000 NFTs. That doesn't make sense. But like, because I think it's like the crowd population is completely different. Like, the gap between Web3 people and anyone else in the world, like, the culture is fundamentally different than anything that you can find, right? It's like early days of nerds, like, it's basically homebrew computer club, right? We're still at that stage.
So can I posit a thought then? Is it a matter of not so much this is how we get from Web 2 to Web 3? It's a matter of that bridge needs to be gapped first. Then you can use that marketing tool as you are describing it.
Why?
But isn't it more so not like you buy an OK Bears or a Pudgy Penguin in Walmart, or an OK Bears and Zara shirt, or somebody saw some guy in one of my groups is a teacher and saw a kid wearing a Pudgy Penguins. It was on sale, like a Pudgy Penguins t-shirt. Isn't it more so right now, like the rules of sales and marketing is you need to have 21, in general, on average, you need to have 21 touch points before somebody's going to buy something. It's kind of like the, those infomercials that run for 20, I believe the science is they run for 21 minutes because just the repetitive nature of it and the amount of times that they need to like expose you to the product. It, psychologically, if you make it all the way through and you don't just switch the channel, you probably will buy it, right? So isn't it kind of a psyop in that we're putting some of these products out there, people don't even know what they are, but they're getting exposed to it. So, we're building up to that,
Exactly. You can't just launch a product and start selling it in like the biggest stores, chain stores straight up. I'd say the Zara thing is a stepping stone. They're leveraging their partnership that they have with, I think it's IMG or whatever it is. Yeah. So this is probably like get the door open, get something happening, and they'll probably work up and do something bigger next time. So I wouldn't look at it as like, why did they do that? I'd say like, hey, they're making moves.
Yeah.
Vince isn't convinced. I haven't convinced.
The thing is that Vittler does like the echo chamber aspect of it. So the fact that, there needs to be wider adoption is a little bit lost on him because, well, if you ever want to make money,
pump my bags,
you
baby.
need more than the 4,000 people sitting in their basement watching you, for starters.
No, yeah, I know.
But
like, for example, like, you have the Solana echo chamber, then you have the ETH chain, then you have the ordinals population. Try to talk to those people first, and then try to onboard like the auntie that never gonna install Phantom in the first place. You know what I mean?
But I mean, Denomics went and talked to a bunch of people who didn't have a Phantom wallet the other day. And they all have Phantom wallets now. So I don't know that it's that big a jump, as long as you're presenting it or you're exposing people to it in the right way. What I would say is that Solana's done a very good job of onboarding people to Solana, because nothing speaks to ETH people like money. So a bunch of ETH people moved here, right?
Also,
that's their love language.
For example, like the Decod3rs giraffe collection that we saw, right?
Yeah, that was ill-conceived. That was garbage.
Yes,
trash.
But like they even work with like a Web3 team to understand the culture, etc., etc. And then it's like a PR stunt, etc. And then it failed in a way. Why? Because like the
In
culture
every way.
gap is, I don't know, like it's big.
Yeah.
I don't know.
All right, so guys, we're kind of over time, but I did have this fun thing that I wanted to do, like a kind of quick round of like stuff. Whether you're no, it's really fun.
Okay.
Like things that we're bearish and bullish on. So like I'm gonna say something, and you're just gonna we're just gonna go around and be like bearish or bullish. So
give me 1 sec,
the
I
first
realize
one.
my lighting is super bad right now.
Yeah, you're backlit. He disappears into the swimming pool.
No,
It created invisibility. Yeah.
So the first one up is our latest airdrop, Dim. Are you bearish or bullish on it? And it can be short term or long term.
I'm kind of neutral, but I'm going to say bullish.
Bullish as well. Yeah.
Okay.
I sold it to buy Sol, but SBB is bullish, so yeah, I'm bullish too.
I just staked a little. I'm holding it. I'm very much on your train. I'm neutral because I don't really know what it does, or I haven't done a lot of research on it. I'm bullish on free money always, but and I am pretty bullish on modular, even though I'm still learning about it. So for all those aspects, I'm bullish, but I'm neutral because I really just don't know where we're going with this.
Yeah, and okay, wait,
okay, and here's an interesting one. Mock JUP. Bearish or bullish?
Bearish.
I mean, bearish. we have the kind of hindsight's 2020 on that, but like I don't even know what that was really. So yeah, I'm bearish
it's
too.
It's a test run for the liquidity pool to make sure that all goes smooth. But I think that what you've got is a whole bunch of down batters who are holding on to it like with hope that like, no, it's the best meme. It's going to come back. They're literally, it's major hopium. It's send it to zero.
Why would you buy mock JUP when you have JUP?
Exactly.
Yeah, I literally, it's kind of in that like $2 zone for me. All of my mock JUP, like in the different wallets, is like $2. What happens when stuff is like $3 or less is I just roll it into one of the things that I'm bullish on, like Spider or Gecko or Bonk. So mock JUP is about to end up transforming into some beautiful Bonk or something. Yeah, so I was pretty bearish on it, but I also, again, just didn't do any research and was like, what is this? Referral meta. We're getting a lot of referral meta at the moment whereby, you know, to farm airdrops, like you have a better chance if you refer 10 people and stuff. How do we feel about that's a very Web 2 concept. So how do we feel about that?
Yeah, I think like referrals are a really good way for marketing. So like it's effective marketing tool. As far as like referral meta, I didn't really know there was a referral meta. I'm going to say bullish. If you're referring to like airdrop farming, yeah, I understand it. Like you get bonus points if you refer people. So I think, yeah, people are going to make money off that. So yeah, bullish.
Leeway.
I'd say neutral. I think if you're in a position where you can take advantage of that, all power to you. You do you. I think for me, just my personality, I always feel so cringe when I try to refer someone to something.
Yeah.
It's just not really in my nature, my personality. I think
you're trying too hard for it. Yeah, it's cringe.
Even though I say not financial advice, do your own research, I still feel a level of responsibility for what I'm referring them to as well. So, but that's just a personal preference. Like if it works for people, you do you, boo. I'm not here to judge. But for me, I can't be bothered. It's just not with my personality.
Fiddler? Can't hear you. You're muted.
Yeah, check your referral link. Thank you. And by the way, it's me. I'm sorry for the background noise. They're building a building in front of my own building, so that's me. And I have noise cancelling and stuff, but they're not joking with like the I don't know.
Jackhammer.
Yeah. It's been since November. Crazy.
Yes, it has. Yes, it has. So referral meta, you're clearly bullish on it as you refer us to your affiliate links.
Yes.
I am bearish, and here's why. While I understand the whole idea of it, obviously it mostly benefits your influencers and your, people with big followings. But I mean, and again, also I feel some responsibility, so I don't refer anybody to anything until I've tried it myself, because I don't want to hear like it was a drainer link or something horrible happened. But I just think also there are only like 6,000 of us in the ecosystem, so who the fuck are you referring all the time?
Circle of referrals, baby.
How is this happening?
Hoff brought up something that I was going to, because that's what I thought you were going to refer to when you mentioned referral meta, because we saw it with is it the Bags app or whatever it is? SocialFi, people referring for SocialFi. That was like the biggest Ponzi I've ever seen. I don't know if you guys saw that, but it was like sign up to, it's literally like a friend tech thing, like sign up to my Bags app using my referral link, and then you will get a kickback of, I don't know, whatever they pay. So they're going to pay 1.5 Sol, and you get a percentage of that. I'm like, this is bearish as shit.
No.
I don't know. No,
okay. Wait, I'm making another link right now.
So ugly. Nah. Literally just shilling an app that nobody knows what it even is, making them pay 1.5 Sol just so you can make $10.
But it's from Finn.
What do you know about it?
We love
What do you
Finn.
know about it?
It's from Finn.
How can you refer?
All right. On that note, it's time to wrap it up, guys. It's been so great. Loved having you. Can't wait for next week.
All good. What's the topics for next week?
Oh, I don't know. We'll find out maybe about Monday, like we did this week. I mean, I do have topics left over. Like, we didn't really get into much DeFi. We didn't get really into much about airdrop farming. So we have some leftover topics. But, the news cycle moves fast in the crypto space. So I'm sure we'll have 3 more coins to talk about and some sort of controversy of some sort. So yeah, we'll see then.
And
thanks for having us.
Yes.
And so we're rotating Skribr content creators. So are either of you back, or is it a whole new crew?
Maybe it'll just depend on who's available. So we'll just do the call out leading up to next week, see who's available to jump on, and we'll mix it up. Give everyone a chance
to jump on. Can you buy Leeway a ring light, please?
What was that? Sorry?
Can you buy Leeway a ring light for next week, please?
Oh, yeah.
What I'm hoping is, because I'm actually in the middle of moving into a new apartment right now, so I've literally got my computer set up on a bench next to my kitchen. I can see the new pool and the pool in the background. It was pretty sweet as well.
Yeah, looks sweet.
But hopefully once I get a few more things set up, I won't be so dark. But also I'm naturally this tan anyway too.
Yeah, no, it's backlit. It's only because you're backlit, so you just need some front light and you'll be fine.
Oh.
Yeah, when you're backlit, it overshadows you.
Yeah.
Okay, let me try this.
But that's okay, because everything that it's too late, bro. It's over.
The show's over. It's fine. Much better though. Much better.
That's better, but it's real
much better. Actually,
going for the horror movie vibes.
Yeah.
No, please, no horror movie vibes. Okay, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Fiddler, could you post everybody's individual Twitter before we leave?
It's already in the description.
Share our referrals.
So follow Decoders if you're not following them, but I don't know what you're doing if you're not doing that. Subscribe to Decoders if you're not subscribed. Hop into the Skribr Discord if you're not already there. What are you doing with your life? Follow them on Twitter. Follow each and every one of us individually, and have a great rest of your day, guys. Bye.
And then we're back on Monday about DeFi Show. Bye.